Alright guys, quickly before this video gets started, I want to thank all you guys for all the support during this tough time uploading with the whole college semester going on. It was a really tough college semester and I can't thank everybody enough for the support during these tough uploading times. But from now on, I'm going to try to get videos up weekly. And also, if you haven't checked out my last video and also the video before that, definitely give them a watch. Let's get right into the video, you guys. Really hope you enjoy this one. Kind of actually a pretty tough hole to fish. There you go. Yes, sir. That's a nicer fish. Heck yeah. It's a nice fish. Heck yeah. Bigger than the last one. Holy cow, guys. That was about 13. Look at that. What's going on, guys? I'm Owen, host of Aussie Fishing Adventures. Today, I am exploring New Stream State. I've never been here before, but it is looking so juicy. I just heard about this place, did some research on it, and supposedly this holds wild browns. I mean, by the look of that big riff and the waterfalls over there, I'm pretty positive it's gonna hold some fish. There's some flies in the air right now. I'm not seeing any fish rising, but I might consider putting on a stimulator if I start seeing some things things, not things. We're going after fish, not things. But away from that, I'm out here with my buddy Dean today. He's been fishing with me today. I fished with him quite a few times now. It's just, we kind of go to some places that, I don't record on camera just due to the reason, just due to like their location and where they're at, because I really don't want to expose those streams. But this stream's in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna have a blast today, hopefully. And let's see if we go get some really nice fish. I have a feeling that there's more than just small wild browns in this stream, because I heard actually from the research that I did that there are some really deep and really fast pools in this stream. Let's get right to it, guys. Let me show you my setup and let's get right into the action. You know what it is, boys. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to what you haven't yet, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. Let's get right to work. All right, guys, today I'm using my Hydros SL-Free, my 5-weight fly reel. Going up from there. I got a nice little, I think it's about a size 12 soft tackle. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm still working on getting my hook sizes down. I've only been fly fishing for about 2 years, but that's the one thing that I'm still struggling with. I'm getting better with my bugs. I know my bugs pretty well now, but the one thing I'm still trying to get better at is hook sizes. That's attached to 4X tippet, and about like 4 or 5 inches above that got one little split shot, but depending on how fast my flies sink to the bottom and how I'm hooking fish, because weight is really everything when you're nymphing, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. But that goes up to my mono leader that I got on, and I'll talk about that mono leader at the end of the video a little bit. I know I said I was going to talk about it last video, but then I never got to it. Sorry about that, guys. I'll talk about it this video for sure. And that's attached to my fly line. Let's go have some fun, guys, and hopefully land some beautiful browns today. All right, guys, so I'm trying to be as sneaky as possible because I'm pretty sure there's going to be more than a couple trout in this hole. The water's really clear today. It's, I want to keep my fly line off the water as much as possible. That's going to be my main goal, because I don't want these fish to see my fly line. And I'm gonna try and make very light presentations, because if I make light presentations, let my fly just slowly sink to the bottom, I should be able to entice some fish to come rise up from the bottom as they're looking up, and they'll take this soft tackle as possibly an emerger. Interesting enough, in that first pool, as well as about the first 100 yards of this stream, I couldn't hook a single trout at all. It seemed almost lifeless. I took a water temp, it was 62 to 63 degrees, which really made me confused. But I can't complain, because when I found the fish, we really got into them. Check it out, guys. All right, guys, got another really nice pull up ahead of us. Dean actually hooked into a fish. Finally, it was our first fish, but he didn't get it in. But it's good to see a trout. Since this water's a little bit slower, I'm not sure if I want to take off a split shot or not. I mean, every single hole that I fish, I just like to just constantly adjust my weight, because you don't want it to go too fast down or make a big splash on the top of the water, because then you're not going to catch any fish. But then at the same time, if you have too little weight and you don't get down enough in the right place, where you want it, you're not going to hook a trout either. When purchasing split shot, I highly recommend to make sure that those split shot have little prongs coming out the ends of them, so you're able to use pliers to just take them right off and be able to take them off and put them on with ease, because that's how I'm able to switch my weight really quick depending on what hole I'm on, because it really does make a difference. It's amazing. I didn't notice before how much of a difference it makes. It makes a huge difference. Check it out. Yes. Yes, sir. First little brown of the day. Let's see if we can get him in. All right, we're on the board. That's what we're talking about. All right, I'm just glad to see a trout. That's a confidence booster, big time. We only saw 2 trout so far, but the thing is we were kind of towards the mouth. Now we're heading a little bit further upstream, and it seems like as we head further upstream, we're finding more trout. Check them out. Awesome little fish. There's quite possibly some way bigger ones though. All right, guys, I have a feeling there could be another trout up here as well. So let's take our time, approach with as much stealth as we can. Oh yeah, there's definitely gonna be a trout in here for sure. So let's hook them. Without further ado, let's hook them. Yes. Fish on. A little bit better. Yes, sir. A little bit bigger. Here, buddy. Yeah. Let's go. Much better fish, guys. About 11, 12 at minimum. Oh, that's a nice fat fish too. Wow. That's awesome. All right, guys, get this beautiful fish released. It's an awesome looking fish. All right, guys, I think this hole is definitely gonna hold a couple fish. I just try to think of how to approach it. The bugs are really in the air now. I just gotta be careful because there's trees in the back, so I can't really do my, back. I can't do the cast where I'm casting downstream and then cast it up because I'm probably gonna get stuck in that tree and that's gonna screw up the entire hole. So we're gonna probably have to do is we're gonna have to do a bow and arrow here. Slow and steady wins the race. Because the last thing you wanna do is spook one fish. Because once you spook one fish in a stream that's this clear like this, you spook all the fish. All right. So as you can see, I got a little bit of fly line out, but not a lot. Just enough that I could, boom, get it right in there. For this specific hole, I decided to go from 2 split shot to 1 split shot. And I did this adjustment because it's a much slower pool, it's not as deep, and I wanted to get as much of a natural presentation as possible. And it was funny, it took a good amount of casts to finally get a fish out of this pool. But sure enough, I eventually got one to take. And it was a nice fish actually. Check it out. Kind of actually a pretty tough hole to fish. There you go. Yes, sir. That's a nicer fish. Heck yeah. It's a nice fish. Heck yeah. Bigger than the last one. Holy cow, guys. That was about 13. Look at that. Come here. Yes, sir. Let's go. I knew there was one up there. Let's do it. That's a nice fish. Hey, we're upgrading the size, guys. We're going in the right direction. We are going in the right direction, baby. Let's get it. Let's freaking get it. Wow. Alright guys, I'm having a blast out here. It's a beautiful day out. The bugs are really working. Surprised we're not seeing any rising fish, but I just wanted to talk about, so I just realized, like, there's just pool riffle, pool riffle, pool riffle. These are all nice deep pools. Like this, I'm surprised. This wasn't even that deep. Look how shallow that pool is. That nice about 13, 14 inch brown came out of this. But up there is an even deeper part, but it's a little bit faster. There's more current, a lot more, depth. I think I'm going back to 2 split shots. Got to keep my distance on these holes and pick apart these pockets the best that I can. As soon as I turned the camera off, I got one. Gosh darn it. That's how it always works out. Literally, as soon as I turned on the camera, I got whacked. Tiny little guy. I know there's way more than this tiny little guy in there. I might need to put on a third split shot to really get down deep in this hole where I want. Little juvenile. Check him out. Well, don't swim back in the net. Oh, he didn't. Alright, he's out of here. Alright guys, I got an absolute ridiculous amount of weight now, so I'm getting to the bottom, I think. I need to get to the bottom in this fast, oh gosh, in this fast water. That's how I'm gonna have to, I need to get down there. I'm not gonna hook the fish. Who would have thought I'd need free split shot to fly fish this hole? There we go. Better fish. Yeah, there we go. I told you, weight is everything. Weight is everything. Here, buddy. Yes, sir. There we go. Nice. Made the adjustment, got the fish right away. It's a nice about 11, 12 incher. They're all over that soft tackle today. They really are. You're not getting down fast, especially in these deep, fast mountain streams like these rifts. You got to put a lot of weight on to really get down and get to where the fish are. Check him out. It's a beautiful brown right there. Alright guys, taking a lunch break, but as you saw how I caught that fish, I wasn't getting to the bottom. You saw in that really fast riff up there, and I was just thinking it's deep enough to hold fish. I know there's fish in it, and we caught 3 fish out of it. That was pretty good. But the first one kind of took like literally right at the end, like, and I think he followed it in probably from like maybe the middle. But the issue is, like, in these mountain streams, that water is so turbid. I'm not sure if that's even the word, turbid, turbine. It's one of those two. It's one of those two, just so fast. Oh look, there goes a brown trout right there. A brown trout that's really spooked from up there and down to here. Place is so loaded full of fish, it really is. It is an amazing stream. It's really cool. You know, the scenery is just phenomenal. Can't beat it, you just can't beat it. But after my lunch break, let's get right back to it, guys. See if we can land some more. My Dean told me he actually had a fish I was on that was like about 15, 16 inches. Doesn't surprise me in here. Because, I mean, all the fish we're catching today, super fat, really healthy, they're eating well. The weird thing is, I looked under rocks, I can't find any bugs. It's really annoying me because there was a really good hatch going on for a while. I didn't see anything rise, but now the hatch just kind of died down and I'm not seeing anything else coming off the water now. And I was looking, I saw some big crane flies coming off. I did see some sulfurs upstream that were coming off, very, like, not a lot. I see actually there's a little midge coming off right there. Possible I just don't see the flies because the sun's on the water, but I'm not talking. Back to fishing. Alright guys, I actually switched it up. I got the same dropper on, but I actually put a dry dropper on. Because I swear I saw a fish rise up here. Maybe it was just me. So, we're going to try to pick some fish off on... You see that rise? They are rising. So let's see if we could pick a couple off. I haven't dry fly fished since last year, so excuse me if I make like a bunch of really bad casts. Well, we missed one. All right, so they will hit dries. Nice. Nice. Not a bad fish at all. Oh yeah. I knew there was definitely fish in that pool. Surprised I couldn't hook one. That's a beauty. There you go. Check them out, guys. A beautiful wild brown in that right there. Get out of here. Alright guys, so I switched to my whole rig completely. Now I got a little pheasant tail on the bottom. Well, actually not completely, and I still got that caddis on top. It was funny. The reason I took off all that split shot is I was literally walking downstream and I saw a rise literally right like at the bottom of this hole in the corner. I'm thinking, there's no way. But I didn't think it was a rise first, and I walked right near it. I'm thinking, well, nothing spooked at first, and all of a sudden, about a 12, 13 inch brown burst out the rock and went up there. So, the fishing area. And look at all the flies coming off. These fish are starting to get more active on top now. So let's see if we can entice a few to take top. Oh! Oh! I had one! He took it, I was taking it out of the water and it freaking smashed my dry! Oh my gosh! Alright everyone, unfortunately I'm gonna have to wrap it up for today. That was a phenomenal day out in the water, and man, that is one just gorgeous gem. I am so happy that I found that stream. Big shout out to Dean for coming out with me that day. I had a blast, he had a blast, we both caught fish, and I was just super impressed with the amount of healthy, fat, wild brown trout in that stream. I mean, there wasn't just small little browns. The other browns, like about 3 of the browns out of the 5 that I caught, were really decently sized and nice, fat, and plump. And what really surprised me is these fish are really nice and fat. There's a lot of flies in the air, but as I said, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the video, it was almost like there was no bugs under the rocks. And I was so confused. It made no sense at all, guys. Also, I wanted to explain in the beginning of the video why I was using a monoliter rather than my usual cutthroat nymphing leader. And the biggest reason is I just didn't have any cutthroat nymphing leaders because I just been putting a lot of knots in them lately. And they do work. I love those nymphing leaders. Specifically, the reason I prefer the braided over the mono leaders is because that mono, and I tend to get stuck. I'm going to admit, I tend to get stuck in a lot of trees. I just do. It's just how I fish, the way I fish. Sometimes I'll cast and I'll just get stuck in trees. And lately, I don't know why, I'm in a getting stuck in trees spree. And I don't like it at all. But luckily, those cutthroat nymphing leaders, they always tend to stay straight. Compared to when I get stuck in a tree with the mono leader, if I really pull hard and go crazy and go berserk like sometimes I do, you know, I'll get those things out of the tree. And it doesn't matter if I use like a leader straightener to try and straighten that leader. It just still stays kinky. It just doesn't get completely straight in comparison to those braided leaders, which no matter what it seems, they stay straight. Even though you put a bunch of knots in them, it still stays straight and it gives you a nice true drift, which I really like. And that's the biggest reason why I like those cutthroat nymphing leaders. Specifically, you know, not just cutthroat, but all of those thread-throat nymphing leaders over a regular mono leader. The only reason I use a mono leader usually is for dry fly fishing, because those cutthroat nymphing leaders and also all those thread furled leaders, they tend to sink rather than stay on the top, unless you put a bunch of dry fly goo on them in order for them to float. But, you know, it's not really worth it. I just usually use a mono leader at that point. But yeah, really hope you enjoyed the video for this week, guys. I have some big announcements coming up in the next couple weeks in relation to the PA Wild Trout Chronicles, as well as the petition. Due to you guys signing the petition and all of us together pushing this petition, something huge happened. And it really gave these migratory brown trout, as well as all moving trout that go into warm water fisheries during certain times of the year, it protects these fish and it makes certain streams during certain time of the year catch and release. I'll talk more about it in a future video coming up. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. I'm out for now, guys.